So it's the middle of the offseason for the Barrie Colts, and every year there's going to be some sort of change. It could be players, it could be staff behind the scenes, but this year it's going to be a new face on the bench in a roundabout way. Dylan Smoskowitz going from assistant coach to head coach. And Dylan, this news, are you pretty excited about this opportunity to coach the team you once played for a few years ago?
Yeah, excited would be an understatement. Getting to stay in Barrie and be in charge of the bench now for a team that I care so much about, an organization that I care so much about, and a community that I care so much about. Honestly, it was a goal of mine to get to this point, and I could not be more grateful and more fortunate to be doing with the Barrie Colts.
And I remember when you were first signed as an assistant coach, you said it felt like a full circle moment. How is it when you're a head coach? What kind of experience is that like now?
It really is. It's still a full circle moment, but from being here for the last 3 years as an assistant coach, it really you get to appreciate everything more. I think when you're a player and you're younger, there's so much going on outside and there's so much noise around everything that you don't really get to appreciate the moment as much. As you get older and then you start to kind of slow down a little bit and then take some time to look around and really appreciate the smaller things, it becomes much more enjoyable. So for me to be coming to this rink every day, which is, to call it work is not really fair because I don't consider it work, but to be coming to a rink that feels like home, to be coming around and working with people who feel like family, it's an ideal situation for me. So, I couldn't be more thankful to Howie Campbell and Marty Williamson for believing in me and giving me this opportunity. And then now it's on my end, to make sure that I prove them right, that I was the right guy for the job, and they made the right decision and take this team in the direction that we all wanted to go into.
And having that opportunity to work alongside someone like Marty Williamson, who's been in the Ontario Hockey League now for over 1,000 games, he's got that great experience. Do you find that as a mentor, you couldn't have asked for a better mentor during your time as an assistant coach?
Well, that's exactly the word. Like mentor is the perfect word, and Marty has been that mentor for me since day one. My biggest thing in taking on this challenge of being the head coach was to ensure that Marty would still be around, because he's going to be relied on heavily. And even though he's not standing on the bench, you better believe that Marty's going to have a lot of say and a big impact in this team from the press box as our GM. But daily meetings and conversations and then going over players and film and strategies and pre-scouts with Marty is going to be a big thing for me and my staff. I'm hoping that he's looking forward to it, but I know that us down here are definitely looking forward to working alongside Marty.
So obviously, since you've had time behind the bench already, you've gotten to know this group. So it's not like a big shift right now. That it's a new voice. It's a voice that these players are familiar with. And for you, are you looking to maybe make some minor changes early on, and not that big splash right away with this group?
I don't know if there's any kind of big splash that needs to be made. I'm very fortunate to be taking over a team who's returning so many great leaders, right? And it's not about how many players are coming back, but just the quality of person that's coming back. And I think about, some of our veterans, Cole Baudouin, Kayshawn Aitchison, Riley Patterson, Grayson Tiller, Brad Gardner. These guys are just good people. And if we can instill a culture that has already been built for the last couple of years, that these guys preach and that these guys live on a daily basis, and we can continue that and bring the new guys in, some of our younger guys, Alex Amensov and Eamon Edgar and Joseph Salandra. And if these guys can really embody what guys like Baudouin and Aitchison and Patterson, all these guys I mentioned, what they bring to the room and the rink and the team every single day, that's going to create a snowball effect for not only this season but for seasons to come. So I'm very fortunate to be kind of working with a team that's returning so many great people, and it's going to lead to great success on the ice.
And this group's learned a lot over even just the last two seasons, from that run where they take on Oshawa in the first round of the playoffs in a year where it looked like they were going to miss the playoffs. And Bo Jelsma and that group able to get the team over the hump to make the postseason. And then last year with that run to the Eastern Conference Final, this is a hardy group. And you already touched on some of those key players that are coming back. This seems like a group that is pretty hungry going into next season with all those returning veterans.
I think it's an extremely hungry group, and I think it's a group that knows how to win. we haven't got to the end goal, obviously, the last couple of years of being OHL champions and eventually Memorial Cup champions, but we've gotten great experience. And through that experience and through the losses, we take lessons. And these guys, again, the ones who I've just mentioned, have learned those lessons, and they are working tremendously hard as we speak to come back and make sure that we have a better performance and a better showing than we did the past 2 seasons at least. But again, I know that these guys take those losses personally. I know that these guys will be doing whatever it takes during the summer, during the start of the season, and eventually riding into the playoffs to make amends and really, really push through that wall.
And how does the summer now look for you, having that title as head coach? Are you already starting to contact the players and to try and get things figured out for how next season is going to look?
Most definitely. I've had conversations with all the players just over the phone. And now we're kind of in the stage where I'll go meet these guys one on one, whether it's at their homes with their parents or just take them out for a quick coffee or a bite to eat. The biggest thing for me is, very subtly let them know what my expectations are, of course. But the more important thing for me to learn is what their goals and aspirations are, because the more I can understand what they're trying to achieve, the better I can prepare myself to put them in the best situation to attain those goals. So a lot of conversations, a lot of meetings, a lot of miles going to be going on my car to see these guys all over the province. But something I'm definitely looking forward to, and something that I think is going to give us a head start on our competition come September.
So do you feel as though once that first game gets underway in September, is it going to feel real that you're now the head coach of this organization that you once played for?
It felt real from day one. Like it felt real even as an assistant coach. Like every day that you come into the rink, it's you put your best foot forward, and then you make sure you're doing things the right way. You're being a good person on and off the ice. You're being a leader. You're being a good role model for these guys. Winning hockey games is great and it's fun, and having fans in the building for a winning team is fantastic. But the big thing that we want to focus on here in Barrie is again the culture, and we take in these 16, 17-year-old kids, and we turn out these 19, 20-year-old men who are positive influences and great contributors to our society. Again, in Barrie, we have a very tight knit community. We have great fan base, and for our guys to understand how important that is and how much it means to give back to our community, that's our number one priority here in Barrie. So right from day one, our guys are going to know that they're going to be instilled in the community, and we're looking forward to a great season.
Well, Dylan, congrats on being named head coach, and enjoy the rest of your summer, as I'm sure it's gotten a little busier here for you.
Much busier, but I wouldn't rather have it any other way. So I appreciate the time, Mike. Thank you very
Fun.
much.
So that's newly named head coach Dylan Smoskowitz of the Barrie Colts. It's going to be a little different, not seeing Marty Williamson behind the bench, but instead, as Dylan mentioned, in the press box, taking in these games. But still, I feel like this is a great direction now for the Barrie Colts, especially with everything that's been going on off the ice with the NCAA commitment. There's a lot more to juggle as a general manager, trying to make sure you're recruiting players that you draft and whatnot. So it's going to be quite the adjustments, but Dylan Smoskowitz, pretty excited for this opportunity to be the head coach of the team that he played for when he was in the Ontario Hockey League. So thanks again for Dylan for coming on to chat, and can't wait to see what comes next here for the Barrie Colts. So again, thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you very much for all your support. Hope your off season is going well so far if you're a Colts fan, and we will see you at a rink soon, and I guess we'll talk to you again soon.